us. This has been quite a journey for all of us. And by all of us, I don't just mean the folks sitting in the front rows, you know, the ones with the wizardly robes and the funny-looking hats. I mean that you, our family and friends, have probably been on quite a journey these last few years as well. We could not have done this without you, and we feel as though you are graduating with us today. We would like to thank you for all the papers you edited, for being interested in, or at least pretending to be interested in, our discussions about the theory of the day, or articles we had read. We would also like to thank you for forgiving our occasional inability to contribute to housework, and for pretending not to be bothered by the hills of unfolded laundry. At finals time in my house, we would call the growing pile of laundry in my bedroom Laundry Mountain. If grad school had lasted much longer, I would have had to invest in climbing gear for my children so that they could get their socks. We would also like to apologize for any diagnoses we may have labeled you with. We were just excited about assessment. But most importantly, we would like to thank you for reminding us that regardless of how many papers we had left to write, or how many process recordings we needed to finish, that we still had to take care of ourselves. You made us shut our books and eat when we did not even know that we were famished. You forced us away from our computers and tucked us in bed, ignoring our protests, which without fail were silenced the moment our heads hit the pillows. Thank you, we needed that. We would also like to give a special thank you to the children who loaned their parents to UALR for a few years. You understood when we sometimes had to study instead of telling bedtime stories or playing Monopoly. You pretended not to mind that more often than not, dinners were comprised of chicken nuggets, hot dogs, or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You gave us the hugs and laughter that we needed when we were feeling tired and overwhelmed. And most of all, you were proud of us for how we were helping others who were sad or sick. Family and friends, you've helped us to achieve such an amazing personal accomplishment. But in doing so, you've also contributed to the community by helping to graduate over 50 MSWs who will serve as social welfare advocates and mental health experts in the communities of Arkansas and beyond. And what an incredibly dedicated and diverse group of students we have here today. I remember when I first met all of you. In the beginning of most of our classes, our professors would initiate a getting to know you exercise. We would be asked to share our interests, what we had done prior to entering school, which adjective described us, and started with the same letter as our first name, etc. Dr. Jumping John Miller was the king of these exercises, and is probably responsible for most of the students remembering each other's names. And as we did those exercises, I was shocked by the diversity of my fellow classmates. We had a broad range of ages in the class, from those fresh out of undergraduate school to those who began the program after retiring from another career. We came from a variety of fields. We had ex-journalists, teachers, veterans, house painters, pharmaceutical representatives, youth ministers, waitresses, retail workers, artists, and even an ex-dolphin trainer. It was hard for me to fathom how we all belonged in the same classroom. But as our classes progressed, it became clear that our learning experience was so much richer due to our differences. We learned more from our fellow classmates' experiences than we ever could have from a textbook. We learned what might go through your mind as you're being shot at in combat, how devastating it was to be displaced by Hurricane Katrina, how strong you have to be to raise your grandchildren, and how it hurts to be denied the right to marry the love of your life. We learned so much from each other. And we came to rely on each other for academic and emotional support. We studied together, quizzed each other, and always answered the frantic late-night phone calls or texts from our fellow classmates who needed help figuring out an assignment. Even as I wrote the speech, I sent out an email to my classmates begging for help and direction, and within a few days, I received several responses with pointers and insights. Thank you, guys. And the younger and more computer-savvy students functioned as the volunteer IT department, for those of us who had no idea how to format, login, or add attachments. They also taught us the art of sending a personal email or paper directly to the professor and not the entire class listener. And we helped each other through the internship experience. We listened and gave advice as we shared the trials, triumphs, and questions that came along with being thrown into playing therapist before we knew what we were doing. And through this experience, we became friends and colleagues. The kind who will tell you when you have spinach in your tea. The kind who will discreetly pull you aside and let you know when your countertransference is showing. And we needed each other as we waded through the ocean of assignments and experiences that our professors put together in order to mold us into competent social workers. Over the span of approximately 4 semesters, we had to complete a thorough community assessment, write 120 process recordings, complete a multitude of assessments and treatment plans. We had to write grants for nonprofits. We completed a policy analysis. We surveyed the homeless population of Little Rock. And we read and read and read until we learned to skim and skim and glance at it. We did so much over the last few years. And though at times it felt as though we were being hazed into the field, and we felt uncomfortable and out of place, we trusted what our internship coordinator, Amy Garland Angel, always told us, that when you are uncomfortable, you are probably learning something. And for the most part, each excruciating assignment or experience brought us a little closer to becoming the professionals that we are today. With the skills we have learned through our professors, internships, and each other, we will serve a multitude of individuals, families, groups, and communities as only social workers can. We won't help by trying to fix something that is broken, but we will work with our clients to find strengths and resources that may have been overshadowed by mental illness, trauma, or social injustice. And we will never cease to be guided by our ethical stance of promoting self-determination and social justice. We will be good social workers. When I began this program, I was struck by all of our differences. But today, I'm happy to have at least 2 very important things in common with you, my colleagues. We are all UALR graduates, and we are all very proud social workers. Congratulations and good luck.